Hello everyone, I am Miriam Al-Janoubi, and today I will present Japan tourism insights through data visualization. So just to give you a glance, first we will see how tourism evolved over time, then we will move to who visits Japan and how they spend, and finally we will explore where travel activities concentrates. So our first chart shows total number of tourists per year from 2010 to 2024. As you notice, there is a sharp drop in 2011 following the Tohoku earthquake and tsunami. However, moving forward, tourism grew steadily, reaching its peak in 2019, which is followed by a sharp drop marking the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, reaching all-time low in 2021 as indicated by the Hoover tooltip. After which it rises sharply again, marking Japan's reopening and rapid recovery, peaking at 36 million in 2024. Now let's zoom in the seasonal patterns within each year, showing the visitors per month. So first, let's look at the most recent year, 2024. Tourism is relatively lower during winter season. Then it rises around March with the sakura or cherry blossom season, and peak in July with the school holidays worldwide, followed by a second high in October during the wonderful autumn foliage season. Now let's zoom into the COVID era. 2020 begins normally in January, but tourism drops sharply from February onward. That's exactly when the pandemic hit. This is followed by a flat line in 2021 and a recovery in the fourth quarter of 2022, followed by an upward trend in 2023. Now, let's explore the top 5 countries who visit Japan. And this bar chart shows that Korea is the top at 8 million visitors, followed by China, Taiwan, the US, and Hong Kong, which shows regional dominance in Japan tourists. Now, let's compare the age and gender distributions of tourists from Asia and Europe using the mirrored violin plots. On the top, Asia shows much wider spread, especially among the 20s and 30s age group, with the females slightly outnumbering the males. In contrast, the European distribution in the bottom is narrower overall, much lower in scale but showing a balanced gender participation across age groups. Moving to tourist spending categories, the donut chart shows that tourists spend mostly on shopping at 33% of the expenditure, which is more than 2 billion yen, followed by lodging, then comes dining, transportation, and finally the entertainment. Moving to the spatial context, this map plots Japan UNESCO World Heritage Sites, divided into cultural, shown in brown, and natural in green dots, scattered across the country's different regions. Each site is indicated by its name, category, and location. And finally, this visualization shows Japan must-travel tourist corridor, known as the Golden Routes, where the color intensity represents the visitor percentage. So darker one shows more visitors, while the lighter colors is the least visitors. Starting with the most visited prefecture, the capital, Tokyo, at over 50% of the total visitors to Japan. Travelers often stop by Mount Fuji on their way to Kyoto, the cultural heart of Japan, at 29% of total visitors, which is followed by Osaka, the food hub, and the second most visited prefecture at 39%. And finally, the Golden Route ends at Hiroshima, highlighting the Peace Memorial, with only 3% of Japan's total tourists. That concludes my visual story of Japan tourism. Thank you all for watching.